Okay, I think we're live.
I think we're live. Good morning to everyone in the Philippines. It's actually very early. Magandang umaga po sa inyo. Like that. You're live. We're building an audience for you. Okay, that's good. That's good. We're not seeing any of the hearts and any of the smiley faces yet. So, to all of those in the U.S., hi, good evening. Hope that you are all doing okay. We are live and we're waiting for questions. I think this little, oh, we've got 11 people watching. So, good morning. Hello, good morning to you. Thank you. And I like that the hearts are blue because I'm in blue too. All right. So, I think we just, you too. Look at that. Somebody from Cape just answered also.
Good morning to you too.
Okay. I think we'll wait a couple of minutes before we start answering. Hi! Oh my gosh! KSA. Good morning from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia this morning. Awesome. All right, we are getting people. Hey! It's our first heart that's like going across the screen. That is so sweet. And here they are. All right, now they're coming. Now they are coming. I like it. I see the floating hearts go by. Oh, that is... Oh! Good morning. Okay, we're going to be answering questions. And since I think we have enough people, mukhang okay naman na tayo. I think we have enough people. So I'm going to start. And I think one of the questions that was fielded, please let me know if you can hear me or if I need to speak up or anything. You can hear me. Just let me know that you can hear me. Somebody comment and say that you can actually hear my voice. And then I will not be paranoid. Somebody let me know that you can. I will assume that you can hear me. Okay. Because since nobody's complaining yet. All right. Here's a question from everyone. So let me read it. I have it here. I can hear. Oh, thank you. Thanks to Jillian for telling me that you can hear me. Awesome. Okay, here's a question. Now that Aga Mulak signed a contract with ABS-CBN, everyone is... Hi, Bets. Good morning. Everyone is asking about a reunion or a third movie. Will this happen? How do you feel now that he's back? Okay, this is a multi-part question. Okay. Yeah, there on the day that he had his press conference, I think my Twitter feed was just monopolized by postings and mentions about him. And I guess that meant that people were just really, really excited for him to be back and for him to be back in ABS-CBN. And it kind of gives everybody the hope that we will do something together. I mean, that would be really, really exciting. And I think it's something that we've been talking about since, I don't know, 2008, I think. And I think people at Star Cinema have been excited. I'm excited. He's excited. But it's really about finding the right story, about finding the right script, about finding the right moment. I mean, we've waited this long to do something together, so we might as well make sure that it's right, but he's back to work today. I think today is his first taping day for the Pinoy Boy Band Superstar show with Sandara Park, Vice Ganda, and Yang Constantino. So they're taping that, and we have stuff on The Voice today, which is why I'm here at ABS-CBN this morning. I feel really excited and really happy that he's back here. As for when this movie's going to happen, it'll happen when it happens, and I think y'all just have to wait until it's right. And I have another strip of paper here from Elaine, which asks, what do you love most about working with Aga? Oh my God. Have you looked at the guy? I mean, come on. Just look at him. Just look at his face. Look into his eyes, and that is all the answer you need. Truly. I mean, you look into his eyes and then you kind of start forgetting your name because he's just pretty. And when he was like really skinny and I was I think a little chubby, and we were actually paired up in a movie, and I'm thinking, my God, I am not pretty enough to be standing beside this person. It's kumbaga sa Pilipino, nakaka-insecure siyang tabihan because he's just an incredibly beautiful man. Now that he's actually a little bigger, I feel less insecure, so I kind of don't want him to lose too much weight. Para at least mas maganda pa rin ako sa kanya ngayon. But he's really fun to work with. He's fun, he's funny. Hindi siya mabigat katrabaho. He's very easy to work with. And once again, just that face just makes it worth it to go to work every morning to look at that face. Okay, so I have a fishbowl of questions, and I will also be trying to look through because these comments are going really, really, really fast. So whatever comment happens to be on the screen with a question, that's what I'm going to answer. Malas nyo na lang if your question disappeared before I got to it. So I'm going to go into the magic fishbowl first, and let's see. Okay, medyo ano to? Okay. This is from Rhea, R-H-E-A, Rhea P. What's your advice to Asian artists who are trying to be successful in the West, but at the same time want to preserve and promote their culture? I think the only thing you can really be is just who you are. There are so many actors now, Ming-Na Wen, Constance Wu, who are really fighting for representation and a bigger presence of Asians and Asian Americans on film and on television. And the portrayals now actually of Asian Americans, it's very honest and funny. And I don't know if I can say irreverent, but we can laugh at ourselves. That's absolutely fine. And I love that these women just kick ass and call the offenses out, which is inspiring to people like me, which gives me courage to do what I do also. And I think the only thing you can do, the only advice I can give is just to be who you are and to know who you are, and to be true to your art and to be true to yourself. And not try to be something you're not. I mean, I got lucky in that I got cast in some pretty amazing pieces of musical theater. And I mean, to be cast as Eponine was really cool, because the show itself does not speak of race. Race is not like another character in the play, if that makes sense at all. And then I can just do my job and I can just open my mouth and sing. Okay, here's the second part of Rhea's question. Do you think there's pressure for your daughter to be as successful as her mother? No, and we are not putting that kind of pressure on her because that is just not fair. She is her own person. She is a unique human being with a unique set of gifts, and we want her to be who she uniquely is. She loves to draw, she loves to paint, she loves to design, she likes making galaxy jars, she loves kawaii things, which means she loves the color pink and things that are absolutely cute. I mean, she's 10, so that kind of makes sense. So she's her own person, and she's very different from what I was as a kid, which tells me that she will be a very different adult. I think she will be far braver, far more kick-ass, far more opinionated and courageous than I was at that age, for sure. And she's somebody who stands up for her friends, and she stands up for what is right, and that's what Rob and I are trying to teach her as much as possible, that, you know, you have to stand up for what is right, this is what you have to do, and that's all we can do. We can only teach you how to do that. So, okay. So yeah. So I'm going to pick a question. Okay, I'm going to wait for the next. Can you speak parcel tongue? No, I cannot. Heck to the no. I mean, I like Harry Potter, but not that deeply. Okay, let's see. I may have to start. Okay, I'm gonna. All right, I'm gonna start going backwards now because hey, okay. Taga saang province ka po, Coach? Okay, this question is from Cuñado Kailin. Your name is long. Kailin Kait Galban. Okay, my father is from Pampanga. My mother is from Negros Occidental, but I was born in Manila, so I guess that makes me a Manileño. I guess because I was born and raised for the most part, dito sa Maynila. Taga Maynila ako. Let me see. I'm gonna answer this one. This is from Louise. Miss Lea, tinuturuan mo po ba si Sir Rob mag-Tagalog? I kind of help him. Medyo tinutulungan ko ng konti. Pero the impetus came from him talaga. Siya mismo yung gustong matutong mag-Tagalog. And I think he figured, well, since I'm living in Manila, I'd better start learning the language. We've been here now since 2005. It's now 2016. Hindi, wala pa rin. All right, I'm gonna pick again from the bowl. This is from Belle S. As a national artist, national treasure, and legendary icon, how would you like to be remembered by the next generation? I want to be remembered for somebody who did her job as best as she could. And that's really it. I don't want to be remembered for anything highfalutin or complicated or what. I do my job, I do it well. That's going to be on my epitaph. That's how I want to be remembered. Okay. Can Nicole's... Okay, this is from Jenica. Can Nicole speak Tagalog too? She speaks less Tagalog than Rob. But she's learning. I mean, the Taglish is okay. Medyo natututo na rin, but malayo pa sa Tagalog ko. Daddy's an American. My first language is English. Palagay nyo, ano kaya yung lengguaheng gagamitin niyang madalas? So it's gonna be English first for her, which is fine. I didn't really start learning the language and its intricacies until I was much older, until I was maybe in my teens. And my Tagalog got really good, strangely enough, when I was living in the UK, when I was living in London doing Miss Saigon, kasi lahat ng kasama ko Filipino, and because we were all so far away from home and we were all so homesick, we would do whatever we would need to do to preserve who we were. We would spend Sundays with Filipino families and Filipino friends, and we would eat and we would constantly speak in Filipino, and wala pang TFC noon, so it's not like we could watch the TV shows that we loved from back home. That was that. So my Tagalog got really good when I was living abroad because of homesickness. Kasi when you're here, you kind of take it for granted. Nasa Pilipinas naman ako. It's always going to be around. But when you're in another land and majority of the people there are not Filipino, and so you have this small group, you kind of want to hold on to as much as you can. All right, so I think I go back into the bowl. Going back into the bowl. Let's see what I pick from the bowl. Oh, okay, this is from Jess J. Knox. I wonder if it's Jessie J. No, malamang hindi. You're one of the biggest names in musical theater, but are there any roles, or is there any role in the musical theater canon that you haven't played that you really want to / hope to play in the future? I don't know. I mean, as an actress in my 40s, what kind of roles would I want to do? mean, there's Mrs. Lovett and Sweeney Todd. That would be fun. And I'm gonna get to play Helen in Fun Home really soon. It's nice. I'm gonna get to play women my age, which is a good thing. I don't have to try and be younger. Let's see. And then eventually, I guess when I get older, it's to do more Sondheim would be fun. To do maybe Joanne in Company, but that's for when I'm much older. I feel like I'm still too young for that. You know, to play Desiree in A Little Night Music would be fun to do. Ooh, that would be so much fun. I mean, you get to sing Sen and the Clowns every night, 8 shows a week. That would be a treasure. But it's a role that is, it's a lot. It's at one time. It can be sexual, it's sensual, sexy, emotional, and there's a whole lot in that. So that's one role I'd like to play. So I think I'm going to start delving into much more Sondheim the older I get. Okay, so back to the I mean, yes, I'm going to answer this one really quickly. Any thoughts from Miss Agot? Yes, I know. She just lost her beloved Tyson, and I saw her sister a couple of nights ago. She was backstage at The Voice, and I asked about her, and she's, if you guys can, if those of you who are fans of Agot, if you haven't already sent her a message of condolences, please do, because this creature was just her baby, and I think she's going to be in mourning for a while. So, yeah. Okay, let me see. This is from Regine. Ano pong maipapayo nyo sa mga gustong sumunod sa yapak nyo? Ano ang maipapayo ko? Ang sa akin lang kasi, if you're an artist, you have to be true to the kind of artist that you are. I mean, for example, dito sa The Voice, to the kids. We get kids na bumibirit. We get kids na acoustic. We get kids na yung beautiful singing, malinis lang kumanta. And we, bilang coach, and I mean not just the coaches na yung celebrity coaches, pero we actually have a deep crew of voice teachers, singing teachers. Maliban sa aming tatlo, marami rin nagtuturo sa kanila who are here really supporting them. And all of us as a group, we have to figure out what kind of artists these artists are. Minsan, nagba-blind audition sila, bumibirit, pero parang, teka muna, hindi yata tunog birit yung bagay sa'yo. Dapat mas bagay ka dito. And we try to discern kung anong klaseng artist sila. So my first piece of advice would be, you have to figure out the kind of artist that you are, and you have to be true to yourself. For me, hindi ako biritera. I mean, only lately have I been trying, pero hindi ako yung biritera in the way that say Regine, Lani, Angeline Quinto, Sarah Geronimo, Rachel Lango, yun talagang biritera to the max yung mga yun. Ako, it's more, yeah, I can reach the notes, but I also can sing in falsetto, I can sing classical, I do other things. Also, my voice is unique and it's different, but I have to remain true to who I am. And in doing that, that's kind of how the rest of my career kind of took off. So that's one piece of advice. And then second, make sure that you have a good support system surrounding you, whether it's your parents, groups of friends, teachers, and mentors. That's a support system that you always constantly need to have around you. And three, there's going to be, mangyayari to talaga. There's going to be negatrons who will be surrounding you. And you have to try to drown out those voices. But at the same time, you have to be also objective. Kasi baka may constructive criticism din. And that's something you have to learn from. So, also be careful of people na laging yes, nang yes, nang yes. you do not want to surround yourself with people like that. You have to be around people who will keep you on the ground and keep you honest and keep you sane. Kasi it's a crazy business eh. And when you're successful, there will be people who will try to latch onto you because you're famous, thinking na meron silang makukuha sa'yo. Thinking that they will be able to leech something off of you. So you gotta be careful about people like that. And this is a difficult field of endeavor to decide to be in. Have a sense of humor. You're gonna need it. That's really it. I think, okay, so I'm gonna go back into daming tanong ah. I have a lot of questions in here and we got time. I have a little over a half hour. Ted B, share one piece of advice that the Lea of today would tell the Lea of 26 years ago if you had the chance. What's 26 years ago? 45, so 19, at the age of 19. 19 or 20, let's say that. Okay, what would I have told the 20? Don't take everything so seriously. Really, don't take everything so seriously. In your personal, public, professional life, don't take everything too seriously. Be a pro at everything, but see the fun in everything. I wish I knew that when I was 19 or 20. Those are things that I only found out a few years later. Case in point with Miss Saigon, I had more fun playing Kim at 27, 28 years old than I did when I was 18, 19. Because it became more fun. It wasn't as difficult. It didn't feel as difficult. It didn't feel as heavy. Kasi parang I didn't feel like I was carrying this big burden of country and pressure and whatever, these things that a lot of young people tend to put on themselves. Yeah, so yun. There. So that's the thing I would have told myself. Have fun at it all. Please, just have fun. Okay. Let me see. I'm gonna actually pick. I can actually scroll through these questions. So okay. If you weren't in show, I like this question. This is from Daphne. If you weren't in showbiz, what would you be doing instead? I don't know. I mean, I went into college as a pre-med student, but I don't know that I would have actually followed through. If not for anything, I hate chemistry. Sorry to the chemists and chemistry professors out there. Sorry na lang sa inyo. I loved biology. I loved zoology. I loved botany. Did not like chemistry. And I knew that organic chemistry was going to be coming up in my college life. So I'm actually glad I got out when I did. I probably would have entered maybe AB Psych. I may have entered that or communication arts. I mean, I do love writing, so I might have wanted to keep pursuing that, or maybe gotten an English literature degree. I really don't know. And to ruminate on what could have been would not be the most productive use of my time. I think it's best to relish the here and the now, and to enjoy the fact that this is what I'm doing here and now. Ganun na lang. I mean, I love what I do and I wouldn't trade it for anything. And yeah, that's it. All right. I'm going to go back into the fishbowl. It's a very pretty fishbowl. Oh, from Sandy O, Cendy. How does it feel working with your fellow coaches on The Voice Kids? Oh, we have a good time. We really, really do have a good time. And what you see on TV, that is actually majorly edited down, severely edited down. We really spent a whole lot more time laughing and joking around, and I think the audience in the studio, they really got the most of the experience, because if there were any technical difficulties, they would be there to experience it and they'd know firsthand what was going on. If there were jokes, they would roll with the punches. I mean, for example, there was one kid who actually ended up on my team, Noel Comia. That was when Sharon's chair turned a full 360. The reality of that was that I had to keep telling Noel, she turned for you, she will not take it back, just relax. And he would like, okay. So we actually had to stop, and we had to keep this child engaged with us while trying to get this chair fixed. And it took some time, and poor Noel had to just stand there for, I don't know, a good 5-10 minutes while this was happening. So yeah, this is the stuff that the studio audience gets to see. And throughout that whole process, though, we're just laughing our heads off. And I remember going home at the end of every day, at the end of every taping day, my face hurting from laughing so much, and just having had such a great time. So Sharon Cuneta has been an incredibly fantastic addition to the coaching panel. It was something that we did not expect, and she is genuinely having fun, and I think it is obvious how much fun she's having. Okay, we're going to do a quick pause because there is a $500 giveaway courtesy of westernunion.com. Since my dreams have actually come true, and so it's time to pay it forward. And this is only for the ones in the US. Sorry na lang sa mga nasa Pilipinas. This is for the ones in the US only. So lucky all of you on the other side of the planet right now. This is how we will choose our winner. Tell me about a time, and we've got a whole lot of, we've got people watching the comments. Yes? Tell me about a time when you actually paid it forward, whether you gave back to your family, your friends, or your community. Write a comment with your answer, and you stay tuned until the end of the Q&A, when we will announce who the winner is, and we will also private message the winner. So there is that. And I think we are continuing now with the Q&A. I'm going to pick again from the bowl, just regardless of how it went. So again, for the ones in the US, while I'm rifling through this fishbowl, just for the ones in the US, you have a chance to win $500 because I've gotten to pay it forward. It's your turn to tell us how you got to do the same. And we will let you know if you have won, and yeah, so because of this major windfall, beware of who comes near you. Okay, this is from Sha, and S-H-A, Sha, N. What has been the greatest adventure of your life? What are you most proud of? Okay, I'm gonna give you two answers because they're two different answers. Going to Europe, touring with Il Divo, was one of the greatest travel adventures I've ever had. Traveling in the US, in the United States, as wonderful as it is, you go to one town, it's pretty much the same, unless you're on the coasts where it's kind of diverse. But when you're in Europe, every country, every city has its own character, its own culture, its own cuisine. So it was one major food trip, going from the UK to Serbia to Slovenia to Slovakia to Poland to Austria to Germany to Belgium, Spain, Portugal, and back to the UK. Going through all of that, I mean, each of those countries is very different in a landmass that is so much smaller than the United States of America. And I was with my husband on this adventure, and we got to see some of the most amazing pieces of architecture. We got to taste amazing food. And I would suggest going to Zagreb in Croatia and going to Prague in the Czech Republic. It's, oh my Lord, beautiful cities and not very expensive. Incredible food, and it's not a very expensive way to travel. And then the other great adventure is the adventure of parenthood, which is ongoing. Yeah, and just because my daughter is getting older doesn't mean that things get easier, because there's always something new to navigate. I mean, when she's a newborn, every little fever, is a cause for panic. And when she's unable to communicate, you're trying to figure out every time she cries and looks at you with tears in her eyes. Are you hungry? Are you sick? Are you teething? Are you just wanting to cuddle with me? What do you want? And then now that she's able to communicate, then the adventures become a little different. Then you hear opinions, and then we try to teach her not to smart mouth the parents, and to, even though she may have a dissenting opinion, how to be respectful while expressing that, and figuring out the person that she is. She's goofy. She's got an incredibly healthy sense of humor. She's probably one of the goofiest human beings that I've ever known. I happened to birth her, which makes me wonder, how on earth did I do this? Because I don't remember really being that goofy. I mean, if you talk to my brother, he will describe me as having been a very serious child. I mean, I've only become goofy as I've gotten older. But as a kid, I was just very serious and very focused, especially when it came to work. So I don't know, maybe my husband says that he was the class clown when he was younger, so that might be it. So she is definitely her father's daughter, but she's inherited things from both of us, but she's most definitely her own person, which I love. I love that she's unique. I love that what she really has inherited, as far, are a lot of physical traits from the both of us. Like, I can pinpoint what trait came from where, looking at her, and even looking at her hands and looking at her feet, especially her feet. It's like half of her foot is mine, and the other half is her father's, and you know exactly which toe belongs to whom. But as far as her personality, it's hers and hers alone, which we are extremely proud of. So I think the adventures of parenthood, being able to just navigate that and keep our sanity. And I mean, we only have one. Can you imagine? What must it be like to have more than one? To have two very differing personalities in the same house, and having to figure out, how do we figure out punishment for one and then punishment for the other? How to discipline one and how to equitably discipline the other, but it might be different, because one of my best friends, one of her kids will respond to the withdrawal of something, while the other one can only respond to something completely different. So I'm like, yeah, good luck to you. I just have the one, so I guess in some ways I'm lucky. All right. Let me see. Okay, I'm like looking at something. I'm like looking. I'm like, no to the pakganon, and I think I'll leave it to the experts to do that. So, let me see. Did you train? Okay, from Daphne. Did you train professionally? Oh, absolutely. I trained professionally. I have taken voice lessons. My I've taken voice lessons in London. My teacher was Mary Hammond. I've taken voice lessons in New York with a teacher named Bill Schumann. I've taken voice lessons in Los Angeles with a lady named Marta Woodhull. And every one of them had something different to teach me. But all of them had this in common. All of them were classically trained, and all of them emphasize classical training as a good foundation for everything else. For example, if I'm going to warm up my voice, it's going to be with a lot of classical technique to engage my body in a similar way, I guess, to a lot of classical singers. So when, say, a pop singer comes to me and asks me, can you recommend a voice teacher for me? I will then call a friend at the Philippine Opera Company, for example, and ask, such and such is looking for a teacher, who can you recommend to better their pop technique? And you can better your pop technique with a classical teacher. It doesn't mean that just because you go to a classical teacher, you're gonna have a career in opera. That's not how it works, because I think you need to have a very specialized vocal type, and you just have to be built in a very particular way to withstand the demands of singing opera, which is crazy, which is just crazy, and I cannot do that on a regular basis. I can do a one-off, but no, I am not built for that. But I can employ classical technique to strengthen my pop and musical theater technique. So to those of you who are thinking, who should I go to a classically trained teacher, or to a teacher who is a technician who focuses on classical technique. Because if this kind of technique is good enough for opera singers who have to sing in large houses without amplification or with minimal amplification, that is the kind of teacher you want, because then your physical body is actually going to be strengthened and trained, and you'll become a much stronger singer physically, and you'll learn a lot of music theory as well. And yes. So, I mean, here's a follow-up. I mean, what's the best advice you've gotten when it comes to singing? The best advice I've gotten is like, go to a really good teacher with classical technique. And that's it. Because once you build your house on a very strong foundation, the house is not going to just get blown away. That is my advice to anybody who's thinking of looking for a teacher. Okay. Let's see. From... I don't know if this is gonna, I may have to give a different answer for this. But this is from April Lynn. What is your advice to all aspiring / frustrated singers out there? What motivates you? What is your advice to all aspiring singers? Well, if you're a frustrated singer, I think it tells me that you don't have the voice to make it a career. But it's just like the Sunday golfer. You play, you have fun. You're not going to join the PGA Tour anytime soon. You're not going to win the British Open or the Claret Jug. But you have fun. You go, you bring out your clubs, you play on a Sunday with your friends, you enjoy the sunshine, enjoy the walk, and you enjoy the game. So if you're a recreational singer and you enjoy singing with your friends in karaoke, don't let anything stop you from singing. I mean, just because you can't make a career out of it in the way the elites and the professionals can, it doesn't mean that you should like deprive yourself of the enjoyment of singing. It's fun. It's a lot of fun to do. You don't have to be great at it to enjoy it. You just have to be able to open your mouth and sing. Go to karaoke, go with your friends, and join amateur singing contests at the office every Christmas. I mean, that's fun. Just do it and enjoy it. Be the shower singer, be the Sunday golfer equivalent of a singer, and enjoy it. I mean, you can still take voice lessons and to make yourself better in the way that a lot of recreational golfers go to a coach just to try and figure out their swing. You do that and have a good time. It's a great recreational activity, and I would recommend it. It's a lot of fun, and it doesn't really cost anything to open your mouth and sing. There's a lot of karaoke apps available on the App Store whether I think you are an Android user or an iOS user. Check them out and enjoy. Okay, I'm going to pick another one, and I'm seeing the pay it forward posts, so I'm going to skip through those because I will let other people do that. Long hair or short hair? Obvious ba? I mean, come on. This is the thing. People that have known me for most of my life have known me with just the long hair. And the funny thing is, once I cut it, I mean, my half brother came to visit on Sunday, came to The Voice. And he was like, your hair. He's the gayest thing on earth. And said, oh my God, I love your hair. And my reply to him was, you know what? It's like finally my haircut matches my personality. It's like once my hair all came off, it was like, ah, there you are. And it feels like this is the right haircut for me as a human being. I mean, if I want to have long hair for a role anyway, they'll wig us. I mean, for Allegiance, this was my haircut. And I was wigged every day. And so I can actually hide another personality when I'm as an actor. When I did Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, they kept the front part of my own hair and then they put a wig on me because this character is supposed to have long hair. So it's like, whatever. But as far as me being me, I like my haircut. I love what I am able to do with it. I like just being able to get out of bed and mess it up and I'm out the door. It's wash and go hair. And I guess I'm just the type of person who is very unfussy and no nonsense, and the quicker I can get stuff done, the better for me. So when the cut is like brand new and it's really, really short, it's really, really easy. I know I look good with long hair too, but my personality really, really, really fits this. So it's awesome. Let me see. I'm gonna move forward. Kasi hindi ako mag-uulit ng tanong. Sorry na lang kayo. You're just gonna have to play this all back later. Yes, I know how to swim. Other than your job, okay, this is from Henry. Other than your job in the arts, entertainment, what other field do you think you would have gone into instead? I don't know. I think I would have gone into psychology. Maybe I would have been a writer. I mean, I see what our writers do here, and I'm like, this looks like a lot of fun. So I may have gone into some field in communication arts. I just don't know specifically what, if I couldn't sing. But I don't know. Maybe I would have, done something completely different. I really don't know, and it's not really something I think about much. Let me see. How many siblings do you have? From Jillian. Marami kami. My father was busy. If I was to answer that honestly, where as far as I know, wait lang ha, kasi meron pang mga undetermined. My father has passed away, so I can actually make fun of him now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, or maybe 8, maybe 9, maybe 10. I don't know, but marami kami. All I know is in the lineup of siblings, I am the 4th. Gerard is the 5th. There are 3 before me, and then there's many more after me. That's when it gets muddled. It's the ones after. So, okay. Basta, marami kami. Ang dami sa inyo nagtatanong tungkol sa 3rd movie namin ni Aga ha. So, it will happen, and I answered it at the beginning. And my answer, in short, it will happen when it happens. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to go back into the bowl because I just came from the comment section. This is from Clara. Lalo ka po gumanda sa kulay ng hair nyo. Ano pong kulay ng shade ng hair nyo? Teka muna, tatanungin ko muna sa nagpakulay ng buhok ko. But I usually, there's highlights in it. It's light. There are light highlights in it. But the base is medium dark brown. I think the roots are medium dark brown-ish if I'm looking at it now. And then the highlights are much lighter. Pero there's also a tendency that after enough shampoos na it will get medyo brassy or light. So I have to visit the colorist every 3-4 weeks just to kind of tone it down a little bit. What advice for okay, this one I kind of want to answer this. This is from Kathrina. What can you advise to those broken families, or I guess for kids who come from broken families? Here's my thing. I come from one. I understand the dynamic, and I understand that there is a desire for the kids, for the parents to be together. Here's my advice to you. Wish for your parents to be happy. You have to want for your parents to be happy individually, which will then translate to everyone else being happy. It's a tough one. It's a tough one because I've actually seen what it's like when you're in a household and your parents are not getting along. So from somebody that's experienced it firsthand, I wish for you, for those who are in that situation, wish for your parents to be happy individually, if not together, because then everybody will be much happier. And you wish for your parents to be friends, if not lovers, or if not in love with one another, but that they can be friendly enough that they will then think of the welfare of the child or of the children. It's something that eventually everybody gets over and everybody can heal from, but it will take time, it will take work, and I wish you luck. But as coming from one that's been through it, you will get through it. Okay, that was actually a cool question to ask. Let me see. I like this one. I'm going to answer this. This is from Lily Pierce. When you were just starting out, or even just doing community theater, how do you find out about audition opportunities? Usually audition opportunities will be published in the local paper because they'll want people to come and try out. Check your community bulletin boards. Sometimes they will be posted in church bulletin boards, school, community centers, your grocery store. Or sometimes you'll hear from it word of mouth. But if it's something that you're meant to hear about, you'll hear about it. Or you ask your community theater if there are auditions coming up, and try out and see what happens. But yes, there should be audition opportunities coming your way. There will always be some kind of public forum to inform. All right. Let me see. This is from Trixie Andy. Do you have any shows or concerts here in the Philippines next year? I think we're planning something for the early part of next year, but I'm not at liberty to say anything at the moment because nothing really has been planned, nothing concrete. What is your favorite Carpenter song? Oh my God, I love a lot of them. We've Only Just Begun is one of them. Top of the World, Bless the Beasts and the Children. I think those are the ones that really resonate with me. Favorite song from Miss Sharon Cuneta? Oh my gosh. I think most of the stuff that she has recorded that became famous, that were the theme songs of movies, those ones, I still know the words from beginning to end. Between Walang Ningning, Sana'y Wala Nang Wakas, those ones I know pretty much by heart. I don't know if she knows that, but well, she will know now if she hears about this. Okay, let me see. What else? Let me see. What kind of, okay, this is from Janai, Janai. What kind of theater do you think is the best for new and up and coming actors? Hard to say. I mean, there are people who straight out of high school will start to do Miss Saigon, like Eva Noblezada. That's kind of what happened. I was doing Philippine theater, professional theater for about 10 years, and film and recordings and TV and all that before I got Miss Saigon. I think you start out where you start out. I mean, I started out in a professional theater company. I wasn't doing summer stock. I wasn't doing community theater. I was doing professional theater from the get-go. I think wherever the opportunity is, that's where you go, and that's where you're put through your paces, and that is where you learn and are trained, and that's where you're, yeah. So, I mean, what is best for up and coming act? I can't say, because for somebody who's up and coming, maybe the best opportunity is professional theater. For somebody else, it's, you know, it's not. It's just, you know, theater and church and whatever. All right, it's actually 10 o'clock for me and 7 o'clock for those of you in the West Coast, and whatever your time zone is, you know what time it is in your, okay. And we have our winner. I'm going to use this because I like this. We are now announcing the winner of our Pay It Forward contest. And her name is, it's a her name is Julia Wong. Here is her Pay It Forward comment. Okay, ready? My Pay It Forward moment: reached out, got to know, and nominated a former stranger for the Posse Foundation Leadership Scholarship. They're part of an undeserved high school choir group, underserved high school choir group, which has covered a lot of Hamilton songs. Now they're featured on America's Got Talent. I felt compelled to open opportunities for them, just as I had a handful of people help me and see my potential. As you grow and rise up, it's really important to lend a hand and bring others up with you. You rule, Julia Wong. You are awesome. And you will be private messaged for how to get your prize. And thank you again to westernunion.com for sponsoring our giveaway. And we have actually come to the end of our question and answer day. Thanks to everybody who logged in, all 140 of you at the end of this. Thank you so very much. Thank you for joining. Thanks to CAPE and westernunion.com for the 2016 I Am campaign. And tune in for the next Facebook Live Q&A with John M. Chu on September the 12th, with director John M. Chu on September the 12th. And check out the I Am campaign videos on im-campaign.com. This is Lea Salonga, and I have a coaching session to run to, actually, which is why I've got to cut this short. But thank you very much for joining me, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye.